Yo, what's up, everyone? It's OATz the GOAT. You either know or you don't. Now, I'm here with the Chapter 36 review of the Boruto manga. Oh my god, you guys. This was so worth the wait. This chapter has a lot of stuff going on, and even though it seems like a climax towards the end, a lot of stuff happened from beginning to the end that you just had to pick up on, and there's a lot to just kind of analyze, and we'll get into it. Before we do, you guys know the deal. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps out the channel. It'll help it grow, and make sure that you hit the notification bell so that you know when I upload a new video. Also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. They're both under OATz the GOAT. And I also post some exclusive things there with this whole war between YouTube and manga and anime creators. We can't show a whole lot of content or else they're threatening to take pages down. They want people's bank account information and stuff. Crazy stuff. But I can't show a lot of material on here. So make sure you do follow me on there if you want more of the scoop. I also update you guys there when I'm about to upload a video and actually when I do. So it really helps if you're interested in this sort of stuff. Now, Boruto's karma starts to act up. This is just how the chapter starts out. The Mitsuki and Boruto are headed to Orochimaru's hideout to ask him about the karma seal and to inquire more about the Byakugo seal, because we know Orochimaru is that guy. If you want the intelligence, he's the plug. He's got most of the, if not all of the answers, like ever. But he slams into a tree because his karma starts acting up, and this is due to resonance. And we'll see as we keep going further into the chapter why it starts acting up. But then it goes to Kawaki back at the Hidden Leaf Village in Naruto's house. He's still looking for the last piece of the vase that he was fixing this entire time. And I can't help but feel like the vase is just a metaphor of what the Naruto verse is experiencing. So the vase being the entire world. Now, at a point, the vase was shattered, right? It had no hopes of being put back together. Now, Kawaki starts piecing it together, and he's missing that one piece, and they're making a really big deal about this one piece, which is why I feel like they're using it as a metaphor. If the entire world is the vase, it looks pretty, and Naruto even says, like, it's fine now, like, just leave it, don't worry about it. But Kawaki then says, what's the point of having a vase if it's not going to fulfill its intended purpose? Because if you put water in that vase, it's going to leak out that hole. So even though the vase looks whole, it's still broken as a whole. It's still broken. So this hole could symbolize why characters like Kara and Jigen, Delta, and all of them have come out of the woodwork. Because even though Naruto may have kind of put most of the pieces together, he somehow overlooked one piece that puts the rest of that vase at risk of not fulfilling its purpose. So that's what I was kind of thinking. There's a lot of foreshadowing I felt going on in this chapter, and I'll make sure to cover it as we go on. So after the whole vase thing, Inojin and Shikidai discuss whether they trust Kawaki or not, which was a really cool conversation. It was no longer than like 6 or 8 panels. It was very simple, but it said a lot. Shikidai pretty much said, like, I trust him. I think he's a straight shooter. He's a cool guy. Inojin, he seems to have his reservations about him, but overall thinks he's all right. And they pointed out the funny thing that Shikidai trusts him, but Shikamaru doesn't trust him. But Inojin doesn't quite trust him yet, where his dad Sai trusts him. So it's kind of mixed and matched, which is kind of cool because we know they have different different intelligence aspects. Their dads and of course the kids themselves. But I think it also shows how much Kawaki is actually growing and how much he's being influenced, because he's finding friends and people are actually taking to him now, where he never had friends. He never had that opportunity. He never had a father figure like Naruto's been showing him. and he's never found love and rivalry like he sees in Boruto. So he's getting all these things that would really complete his character. But of course, some things happen later to kind of mess that up. And we'll get into it, you guys. Trust me, stick around, it gets good. So we get to Sakura at the Yamanaka flower shop. She's talking to Ino. And this is where things start going left for me. And I don't know, maybe for some of you other readers that like to look into things, this really it put up all the red flags for me. I did not like this. I had a really bad feeling in my stomach reading it, which I will get into at the very end, because there's more pieces to this as to why more red flags kept coming up. I won't say what, just stick around. I promise I will cover it at the very end. But this was not just like a hoity-toity scene of Sakura doing something very nice. Something really bad is happening, and I'm not liking it. But as she's, talking to Ino, Sarada comes in to ask Sakura about the Byakugo seal that she has. But before we get any of that information, the chapter goes to Kashin, mother freaking Koji.
Watch your profanity.
Now this guy, this whole situation is ridiculous. Because Naruto's fight with Delta, it's been at least 3 days. I want to say it's been like a week and some change. Because Kawaki had to recover from his injury, get the prosthetic arm and all that. Like, a lot of stuff has happened in between that fight. And this dude is still in the same spot he was, spying through the Blaster Toad summon that he has. The thing is he's not moved on. But instead, he's here thinking about why Jigen hasn't made any move yet. And he seems pretty intent on figuring out Jigen's motives. And that was just a really quick glimpse at Koji at that point in the chapter. But it brings up a lot of questions, which, again, stick around, I will bring up at the end. I just want to go through this chapter in chronological order before I start analyzing anything, because I know I can get sidetracked pretty easy. So stay with me. It gets even better from here. So Kawaki's karma, oh my god, you guys. It starts to do something we've not seen it do ever. And he looks at his hand, and instead of a diamond shape, it's the symbol of the mystery Otsutsuki on his hand. And we can only assume what that means as we're reading it, right? Because we know that Jigen, his karma is directly related to this mystery Otsutsuki, who I believe was Kaguya's partner. Hopefully they get into that, because they do travel in pairs, and we did not see who Kaguya came with, and that's a problem. So we can only assume that means Jigen's close when we see this. And it's really, like, they wrote it so well, and we definitely didn't see that happening, because we've never seen Karma do that. And we knew from last chapter Jigen was planning on making a visit, but when his karma started acting up like that, it got to me. I was feeling it. We knew this was instant trouble, like, as soon as we saw it. Now, this chapter keeps jumping, so, like, it jumps from, like, Sakura to Shikidai to Boruto. It goes all over the place, but it does it so well. So it's not me jumping around, I'm just going through it in chronological order. So meanwhile, Sakura is telling Sarada about the origins of the Byakugo seal. And she pretty much tells her that it's been around since the age of the Sage of the Six Paths. And personally, this is probably like one of my least favorite things I like about Naruto as a series, is because origin stories tend to seem like ass pulls. At least when Kishimoto did it, hopefully these writers can write it in a way where it doesn't seem like an ass pull. But, I mean, that's just what it seems like, you guys. To me, I really don't want it to be. So far, Boruto, the writers are doing really well. Not talking about the anime staff. Those guys need to get fired. The manga writers are on point, so I have a lot of faith in them, and I can only assume that you learn more, from experience. So they've seen the whole Naruto thing go through. There are definitely a lot of flaws. It's my favorite series. There's still a lot of flaws, and I know these writers are gonna pick up their game. Like, this should be a really good story as long as they learn from Naruto's mistakes. But yeah, that's pretty much all you get from that. But then Ino falls onto the counter because she senses an ominous chakra entering the village. And it had to be intense because, I mean, Ino's pretty strong. In the war, she was able to connect everyone in the alliance to each other. And that takes some serious strength. That is a massive thing to pull off. So for her to almost like faint and fall over, that's bad news. Like, she was in the midst of Madara, Obito, and the Ten Tails, and that didn't happen. So I can only imagine how strong Jigen actually is just from this. This is where the chapter starts getting spicy. Because you know what? Kawaki's karma, it causes his hand to grow bigger, and then it produces a space-time portal, and none other than Jigen comes out in all of his villainous glory, smack dab in the center of not only the Leaf Village, but Naruto's living room. Oh my god. I mean, so far Jigen is my favorite villain of the entire Naruto verse. He actually has that sense of, he brings about that sense of despair, like it, and he drags out that hopelessness. I don't know what it is about that guy. His look is on point. Just the way he carries himself is on point. And there's some stuff that he does in this chapter that kind of drive everything kind of home. Smack dab in Naruto's living room, Jigen is standing right before Kawaki. And Kawaki looks scared shitless. I'm not even gonna lie to you. The scariest part about this is Jigen is paying zero attention to Naruto right now. Naruto's not even like 6 feet away. And he's just looking directly at Kawaki. It's not that he doesn't notice Naruto's there. He knows exactly where Naruto is, but he's not paying attention to him. So this is just like, to disregard the strongest ninja in that universe, or in that world at least. Can't say universe because the Otsutsuki do exist. That's incredibly insane. To be in the presence of that and not even feel any hint of scared by that. You're completely intruding the village and the guy's own home. That's crazy to me. You know, if I were Naruto, I'd be like, whose bills are you paying to be in the middle of my village, in the middle of my home, with your damn shoes on? You didn't take his shoes off. Come on. Jigen truly is evil with all this stuff. How do you not take your shoes off in somebody's house, guys? Come on. Have some decency. Who raised you, Jigen? Anyway. But something happens, because Kashin Koji sees Jigen make this epic. It wasn't even epic. It was so low-key. But, like, just the villainy vibe of it was crazy. So he makes this entrance, and Koji, he's still spying on them, but he's like, oh, shit, he's here. So he releases the summon on the Blaster Toad, and he instantly puts the pieces together. Like, Koji is so freaking smart. I think once we build on a story, I see him being one of my favorite characters. But he realizes he stepped in some big shit, because if Jigen was always able to teleport to Kawaki, what was the point of having a retrieval mission? It was to figure out what Kashin Koji's motives were. Because Jigen seems to have been on to Koji from the start, but this retrieval mission was to see who he's aligning with. And it's not with Jigen, apparently. So once he releases that toad, it makes a little poof, and Jigen just looks over. He noticed him, but he willingly ignored it, because he's only there for Kawaki. But he knew Koji was there. And that's scary, because now he knows Koji is not who he says he is, and he's not there for Kara's purposes. I just like how Kashin Koji put it together. Like, he did it instantly, and he knew he got found out. So Naruto tells Ino that he's going to figure this all out on his own, just like he did with Delta. And I don't like this for so many reasons, but the biggest one is, he already knows that Jigen is the head of the operation. So why? I get why he doesn't want anyone else jumping in on the fight, because he really wants to save lives. I get that. I totally do. But this is your chance to pull out all the stops, to make sure that nothing happens in the future. Like, this is your biggest threat right now, as far as we know, at least. You need to be going all out. So whatever that means, if that means you get the team to get together to, zoom in and zap them somewhere else with a flying Raijin jutsu with the 3 guys and fly them out to the middle of a desert so they can have an all-out brawl, then do that. That's what that needs to happen. But he didn't do that. I don't know if that's still an option. I'm just kind of spitballing stuff. But Ino does something really cool in her positioning, and she says, okay, I'm going to let you do you, but I'm going to make sure I station the police forces around to be on standby just in case, which is something that should have happened back when Delta invaded, but Ino didn't feel as hard-pressed to do this as with Jigen and his ominous chakra. But I'm glad she did that. That was a good freaking move on Ino's part, and I'm stoked that she did it. She's coming up in my books. So she goes ahead and does that for Naruto, and that was great. Now Jigen finally speaks to Naruto and says, I seem to be in your living room. Screw you, touch Naruto! No, I'm just kidding. He didn't say all that, but he was actually really polite. He was like, I apologize for the intrusion. And I was like, oh, well, maybe Jigen's not that bad of a guy after all. I mean, just let him take Kawaki and he's good. Maybe he's a good dad. Okay, not really, but I mean that was really polite in an evil way, and that was kind of cool. So Naruto starts to approach Jigen, and he says he's been waiting to meet him, and then Jigen responds to it with, "I'm just here to take my son, and then we're leaving right away." But of course Naruto can't let that slide, so he blitzes him, and with the most casual kick, Jigen blasts Naruto out of that, Jigen blasts Naruto out of his house. And then he throws 4 black chakra rods inside of Naruto, which start sucking out his chakra, and they're supposed to suppress him. It's insane. Koji. Jigen kicked the strongest ninja ever casually out of his own home, and then proceeds to scold Kawaki as if he didn't even do that. Like, Naruto's literally nothing right now to Jigen, and it's scary. So Kawaki and Jigen exchange words, which pretty much amounts, I'm not your son. I'm not? Oh dang. I hate karma. Nani? You hate karma? Yeah, tell me how to get rid of it. As if you do that. Wait, so you like your fake arm better than karma? Meanwhile, while this touching father-son conversation is happening, Sarada is en route to be backup. Instead of a more capable ninja like Sakura, who was there. And instead Sakura goes grocery shopping. Sakura. Like, I really try hard not to hate on Sakura. I think she made leaps and bounds in the war arc especially. But it's things like this. Like, you're going to stand by, and then, like, your daughter is going to go head first into the... Ugh. Like, I can't defend you, Sakura. I'm sorry, I can't. It's ridiculous. How do you do that? What kind of ninja are you? But as Sarada is heading over to provide some backup and see what's going on, something extremely magical is happening, you guys. Kurama speaks. He's speaking to Naruto. And he says everything that everyone who's an actual fan of this shit has wanted to say since the beginning of Boruto. He says, stop being pitiful and get up. You're making the title of Hokage look bad. So Kurama forces Naruto to take on the chakra mode, and Naruto tells Kurama to shut up, and he starts to stand up. But I mean, it's like, yeah, Kurama, thank you. Like, I love Kurama. I love Kurama. I'm glad he said that, because Naruto's been nerfing himself this entire freaking series. And it's been killing me, and I get why in some instances that he nerfs himself. But man, come on, this is Jigen, and Kurama, I'm sure, understands the severity of the situation. You can't mess around like you did with Delta. Delta was, she's here and he's there. Like, there's levels to this. And anyway, Kurama, thank you. From the bottom of my Naruto loving heart, thank you for talking some sense into that boy. I swear I was going to do it myself. So, then we see Mitsuki and Boruto. They're on the rooftops. They're running towards Naruto's home to see what's going on, because obviously something's happening. Now, as Boruto's getting closer in proximity to the house, his karma seems to be spreading. So it was just on his arm when they were out more towards the woods. But now that they're back in the village, kind of close to the house, it's up to his face. And it's going to grow more, I think, and you'll see why as we keep going. But as they're running on the roofs, Shikidai and Inojin see them, and Shikidai is like, oh, they look like they're in a rush. I wonder if everything's okay. So I'm wondering if we'll see Shikidai and Inojin kind of join up as well in the fight, so that we get Sarada, Boruto, Mitsuki, Shikidai, and Inojin kind of on the battlefield as well, which would be kind of cool, because these guys need to see the real stuff. Because actually something happened in the store that I didn't mention, but now that I think about it, if they actually come up on this battle, they'll realize the truth. Because when Sakura mentioned to Sarada that the Byakugo seal has been around since the Age of the Sage, Sarada had no idea who the Sage of Six Paths was. She had no idea. Which means we can only assume that this generation, for the most part, have no idea what that freaking war was about, or what the threat of the Otsutsuki really is, and how ninjas in the ninja world came to be. So if they see this, and they kind of help Naruto secure this win somehow, I don't know if they'll be of any help, or I don't know. But if they do see this could be the potential thing that they need to light that fire up their ass to find their why, and why they're fighting, why they want to get stronger as a ninja, if they see that there's threats that big out there. So that can be good as far as development of Boruto's class. So we'll see. But I don't think they would have showed that for no reason, So I'm pretty sure they'll show up on the scene. Kawaki says, "Look here, you rat bastard, you baldy." Literal words. I'm not even joking this time. And as he's saying that, his karma is expanding, and it's expanding across his face, and he's growing the horn, like we see with the mystery Otsutsuki and with Jigen's transformation of karma. And we've not seen this. Jigen hasn't even seen it, and he says that. And he's asking himself, how did he advance this much over such a short amount of time? So we can only assume that this growth is due to Boruto getting closer in proximity, because Kawaki's karma probably resonates with Jigen as well, and also resonates with Boruto. So with both of them becoming that close, Kawaki might be growing his karma seal more than he usually does. So then Naruto kicks Jigen in the face, right in the kisser. And Jigen goes flying across the room, he hits the wall, and he's kind of in a sitting position. But then he kind of just looks over and he's like, oh, so it's like that, huh? All right, then I gotta eliminate you. And he gets up, and then his karma starts expanding all over his body. Now, it's not a full transformation, but his karma did expand all over his body. And then that's where the chapter ends. Now, I'm going to start analyzing everything that I promised in the beginning. And trust me, there's some stuff that it raises a lot of questions. And I'm going to say something you guys are not going to like, I promise. I really do. And I'm going to save it for last, so stick around. First things first. it just shows how powerful Jigen really is when he doesn't have to address the strongest ninja in the world at all. Like, if that's not a power move already, sending my gosh, I'm sorry for the name mix-ups this video. I'm just super stoked on this. Sending Koji on a retrieval mission to figure out Jigen's motives was a huge power play. Now, I say that because if Koji was for Jigen, which we see that he's not, we'll get into it next, he would have retrieved Kawaki and he would have never had to go there. And he gets to see that Koji is there for him and Kara, and he also gets Kawaki back. Everyone wins. But now that Kawaki wasn't retrieved, but Jigen, could always retrieve him himself, not only does he get to get Kawaki himself, he finds Kashin Koji's true intentions, which are just not for Kara, and also gets to lay the smackdown on the world's strongest shinobi. I mean, it's a win-win-win for Jigen any way it goes. I mean, this guy is making some power moves, and he knows how to do it. So I wonder, I need to know his story, because I don't think he's from Earth. But that's another video for another time. But then next, while we're speaking on Kashin Koji, there's a lot of more questions popping up around this guy's character. The first one, why have you not made a move yet? It's been almost a week since the Naruto and Delta fight. You haven't made a move for or against Jigen. So what is he really observing? Because it wasn't, Jigen coming right away. His intentions, they're still shrouded in mystery. So I really need to know what they are. I don't even have an inkling of a clue. I know he's observing Jigen, but I can't say he's there for good, or evil. He's definitely not for evil or the evil that we know. But at least for his own intentions, which is just confusing to me. Does Koji not need to eat, sleep, or poop? Like, what's going on? You've been there for almost a week. And he's just casually just sitting back, relaxing, observing everything happening. But it's like, bro, like, you gotta do something. And he can't just wander around the village, like, in that getup. Maybe if he did, like, a transformation jutsu, sure. But, I mean, he's on a 24/7 stakeout of Kawaki and this whole situation. So I'm really wondering what's going on. On top of that, I think that could allude to the fact that maybe Koji's body is actually artificial and that he doesn't need to do all of that. And, that's just a prediction. Just a guess, just based on what we've seen so far with Kara. They're very into ninja tech. And if you guys really want to get into depth with this with me, I have the video. It's called Revealing Kashin Koji's Identity, where I break down who I think it is and why. There's a lot of evidence leading to who I think it is. And I also kind of go over why Koji might be able to do this sort of thing without eating, sleeping, and pooping. So go watch it. It's on here. It's called Revealing Kashin Koji's Identity. Now, I need to know what he's going to do. Now, it seems as though Jigen has sniffed him out. He can't go back to Kara and give him some lame excuse like, oh, well, I was too scared to move, blah, blah, blah. There's really no reason as to why he's just not making any moves. So, will he reveal himself to Naruto? Maybe, depending on how this fight goes. I don't know what his next move is going to be. I don't think he even knows what his next move is going to be, because I don't think he thought he was going to get sniffed out that quick. And in that matter, too, that was pretty crazy. The biggest question is why and how Naruto still hasn't sensed Kashin Koji at all. I mean, remember in the war, when he hits that chakra mode, he's able to sense bad intentions. That's how he's able to locate Black Zetsu. So, could this mean that Koji actually doesn't have any bad intention, no ill will towards anyone? And that's why he hasn't picked up on his chakra signature yet? And if you go watch that revealing his identity video, this kind of makes my theory a little weird. Because even if he didn't mean any harm, Naruto can still sense chakra. And if it was a familiar chakra, he would pick up on it. So I'm kind of wondering what's going on. And if it is an artificial body, maybe there's something there that is kind of helping him stay, on the low and whatnot. But or maybe it could be nature energy. He's sitting very still. He's in the same position as he was when we first saw him. So it could very well be senjutsu, and Naruto just doesn't pick up on that because it's just nature energy. It's not chakra that he's using. But yeah, those are the big questions behind Kashi and Koji. Now, here is the part you guys are not going to like. So before I piss you guys off, I need you to hit the like button, subscribe, follow me on Instagram and Facebook. They're both under Jack OATz to go. Now, for the piece de la resistance. It's going to be really hard to swallow, you guys. And I can already hear people screaming at me through the screen. That's fine. All right. 3, 2, 1. Let's talk about this. Sasuke is dead or in critical condition. Now, I know. Chill. Hear me out. Why do I think Sasuke's dead? It goes all the way back to the beginning of this chapter where Sakura is buying flowers for Sasuke. We've seen Sasuke come home. I mean, this is not a new instance, but of course, it is very few and far between for Sakura. But to make a big deal in this chapter of all chapters of Sakura buying flowers for Sasuke, when the last time we saw Sasuke was in the midst of the Ten Tails and Jigen, it's foreshadowing. It is foreshadowing. I don't care what anyone says. That is my prediction, and I'm standing on this one. And I say either dead or critical condition for a couple of reasons. But let me go into the next piece of evidence. Remember in the last chapter, Sasuke, he was like, I should go back and warn Naruto immediately. Why is it that Jigen showed up first? There's no reason why Jigen should be there before Sasuke. And even if he wanted Jigen to leave before, he noticed Sasuke open up his space-time portal, he should have been right behind Jigen. He should be in the village right now. But he's not. And the next piece is the way Jigen is carrying himself, how he apologized to Naruto of intruding in his home and really just kind of expecting Naruto to stand down, really shows that Naruto's not the biggest worry he has. So I wonder, kind of slight tangent, but I wonder if Jigen's fighting a bigger fight somewhere else. I don't know. That it's crazy to think about, but maybe there is a huge war happening that doesn't quite involve Naruto at all. But to keep going on it, his demeanor is what's scary and why I think Sasuke is dead or in critical condition. Because what I see happening from this fight is Naruto getting his ass kicked. Not killed, not even close to dead, but like getting his ass kicked. I see Jigen taking Kawaki. Maybe next chapter. No, they'll probably drag this fight out for a while like a different Delta, but in whatever chapter, I see him getting Kawaki. And before he leaves, I can see him saying, as a gift for returning my son, which he forcefully took, here's your friend. And I can see him opening up a portal and tossing Sasuke's either lifeless or almost lifeless body out of the portal. Because now let's get into the semantics of this, and I promise you this isn't me just pulling things out of my ass. This is me putting some pieces together. Now we know that Sasuke, as far as chakra goes, it's complete crap. Like, he doesn't have it, and it's written that way purposefully. Remember, that is the split of the two sons, Ashura and Indra. Indra got the eyes, where he didn't get the chakra and the stamina that Ashura did, which would be Naruto in this case. So we know that Chakra's complete crap is larger than normal, given his circumstance, but definitely not anywhere close to Naruto's, especially with the Rinnegan constantly draining that chakra. Now, he did also say, when he went to go fight Momoshiki, that it takes a lot of energy for him to actually make that space-time portal, and depending on how many people he has to carry through, it takes more time to get the chakra to be able to do that. He got to that other dimension where we saw the Ten Tails, which took out a lot of chakra. Now, I'm sure he wasn't expecting to fight anyone, especially anyone on Jigen's caliber. And if he had to, he would have expended a lot of chakra to the point where he wouldn't be able to create a space-time portal to travel anywhere else until he gathered that energy to do so. Now, if they actually went toe-to-toe and we see Jigen here on the battlefield, that can only mean that Sasuke lost. So that's kind of where my head is at. I don't think Sasuke's dead. I think Jigen may have kept him alive for maybe intel purposes. Who knows? Maybe Sasuke comes back missing his left eye, his Rinnegan. I mean, anything is almost possible in the series at this point, but I don't see Sasuke coming back in One Piece. He might be missing for a bit. Who knows? But he's not okay. That's for sure. He's not okay. And I'm standing on that. I know you guys hate me for saying it. That's that's what it is for me, at least. Thank you guys for sticking around for this review. As you can tell, I freaking love the Naruto series. It's my favorite series by far. So no matter when you hear me poking fun at it or poking holes in it, it's in all good fun, and I just like criticizing things that I truly enjoy. But this has been a Boruto Chapter 36 review. It was epic. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comment section below. Let me know what you have to say about anything that I said, any of the analysis that I made. I mean, let's have a full-on conversation. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, all of that good stuff, you guys. This is OATz the GOAT. Either you know or you don't.